Lost and Running. Mazu, Lost and Running. Lost and Running's won the premiere.
Krissy, it's so fantastic you have Lost and Running here. Of course, the Cooks, we heard from Chris Cook just last week about how they wanted you to have this wonderful racehorse. I mean, he earned $4.3 million on the track. He was just an outstanding racehorse, raced in all the big sprints, obviously. And they love this horse, and it's so great he's with you. How do you find him now? You're transitioning him into a new life.
The funny part about it is I normally like to go and look at horses that I'm going to take on to make sure that they're, sound and that their legs are okay and they're not going to buck rear and try and kill me. Just because Chris and Frank are so good to us, we said, oh yeah, we'll just take him. And he arrived, and they won't mind me saying this, he's a really weird looking individual. He's got a great engine, he's got a massive big backside, and he slopes down in the front, so he's got a little bit lower in the wither than the backside, which makes his neck then a little bit ewe. And I just looked at him and thought, oh, how am I going to get this to jump? So I had a bit of a heads up from a couple of the guys that have ridden him on the track to say he's quite strong. So we trained him in a different way. We trained him loose rein, just so that he could learn to carry himself without needing our help. And when they've got a really big engine like that, the faster they go, the higher up in the wither they come. But then when we want to just slow canter, he needs to learn to do that himself. So we spent, we got him in November last year. We've spent sort of 6 months just getting him to understand that he can carry himself. He doesn't need us to carry himself. And then as soon as he could do that, we started pointing at poles. He has the biggest heart and the nicest personality. So I know why he's a winner. Because he has just a beautiful brain.
And he's so popular too. I mean, he was such a lovely horse. He's by Perencanto, he's by Street Cry, the Sire of Winks. He's got some great blood through his veins, of course. He's the sort of horse, I think, that people followed. He obviously was a superstar on the track, but probably could have won more money. He bumped into some absolute champions himself. But as an elite horse, what do you see in his brain and the way he behaves? Is there something different about him?
Oh, 100%. Very rarely do you get a horse with focus and work ethic, and he has both. He got a little bit upset yesterday when he very first heard the PA, and then we went straight to, interestingly enough, the more circles you do, the sillier they get because they think they're just starting to wait to go on the starting gate. So Aria Baker, who did a great job riding him for me, we put the cross rail down to just rails on the ground, and as soon as he went over the rail, he went, oh, second job. And he calmed down, we made the cross rail, made some nice practice fences, and in the ring he went.
And what's the plan for him now?
Look, I think he's really talented. We started out, because I'd broken my femur and wasn't doing any riding, Nikita Moore, who's been working for me for 7 years, so she started out riding him and she did some lovely prep on him. Aria's horse was lame for this show, so we threw Aria on, and Aria and Lost and Running, well, Andy as we call him, they're a great partnership. So I look, talent-wise, I think he could definitely be jumping 120, 130. Very, very talented, obviously great engine, so he's got lots of push off the floor. And beautiful brain, like such a lovely horse.